afternoon. How's everybody doing? Good. Good. Y'all should be a little bit more enthusiastic. You just had lunch. How are you doing? Good. Well, I'm excited to be here, and like she was saying, I am a recent inductee of ODK, and Tara came to Francis Marion for our initiation, and she came up to me afterwards and she was like, I know this is kind of far in advance, but will you come and speak at our leadership conference? And I thought, well, yeah, I can go ahead and put it down on my calendar. We'll make it happen. And the arts are just such an important part of my life and have had such a huge impact. And it's just an honor to be here today with you all and to get to share a little bit about my life. I was kind of a late graduate. I've had kind of a road that was not paved, you know, the way that you're supposed to go to high school, then college and graduate, and then go to graduate school. I took a few years off, so when I was initiated into ODK, I was probably like the oldest person there in the group. I was always the oldest person in my classes. They're always like, you're like 21, right? And I'm like, 20, 26, you know, something like that. But yeah, that's a little bit of my story, which I'll share in a little bit, but I want to go ahead and get started on my PowerPoint, which I will point out, PowerPoints aren't my forte, but I put one together for you all, so just bear with it. But first off, I just want to say that the arts are a part of our everyday life, and that is a little bit of what I'm going to speak on today. So how do the visual and performing arts affect our lives every day? And, you know, I think that, you know, we look back and we see that we can all connect on a level when it comes to arts. When you are in a movie theater with people, you're all connecting because you're watching that visual art. When you're looking at a painting and somebody steps behind you, you both are looking at the same piece, but you both have different perspectives of that piece of art. So they build courage, they build self-esteem, they integrate mind, body, and spirit, and these are just a few things that the visual and performing arts do. Simple question, why? Like I told you, this PowerPoint is straightforward. All right, so here we go. Why? The music you listen to. Okay, and I have a story about this. Prince, Michael Jackson, and Taylor Swift, because I figured most of you would know who Taylor Swift is. And I am a teacher. I teach music and drama. And when Prince passed away, some of my students came up to me and said, Miss Boyce, who's Prince? And my heart kind of sunk a little bit. I had to step back and walk out of the room and then come back in and reassess. But you know, so I put that up here. For anybody who might not know who Prince is, don't ask me afterwards because I can't go there. Ask somebody else. But the music that you listen to, the cartoons that you watched or you still might watch. My nieces love Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, so I'm constantly watching that. So yeah, I still watch cartoons. But the cartoons you watch, the books that you read, the design of your home, your favorite product logos, and I will let y'all fight over which product is better. Apple. Your car. I know you're riding down the road with your sunglasses on, windows down, and you're thinking, man, whoever had the vision to design this car, they were on point. The TV that you watch. And of course I'd put Grey's Anatomy in there because I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. Anybody else? Yeah, that's what I thought. And what you wear. Every day we are walking around, we are walking art. We are wearing something that somebody had a vision for and they pulled it together and we buy it. We buy that art and we wear it every single day. So the visual and performing arts surround your life every day. You touch something that's a part of somebody's vision. If the clothes that you pick out, that's somebody had a vision for that piece of fabric. Every detail that went into that was somebody's vision. So, did your mom ever have like terrible pictures of you when you were kids and like show them to your family members, your friends, your boyfriends when they come over to the house? Everybody had that moment? You're like, Mom, why? Okay. Well, you usually try to hide those. I'm kind of the person, I've kind of put those out there. So I'm going to tell you a story about this girl, and this girl is me whenever I was younger. So growing up, I was the youngest of 4, and I was kind of always, here and there to baseball and basketball and football practices, and my sister was a cheerleader, and I had more of a vision to go towards the arts. My dad was very involved in music, and he told us, every single one of us at the age of 6, that we had to pick up an instrument and learn it. So he said, what instrument do you want to learn? And I said, well, I think I'd like to do the violin like my sister. And so I started immediately taking lessons, and my dad made us practice every single day for 30 minutes. There was no questions about it. You did not argue with him. You had to practice. And so I really enjoyed playing the violin, but then I started to stay with my grandmother after school while my brothers and sisters were out doing their thing. And being the youngest, you always have to have somebody watch after you. So my grandmother would watch me, and the funny thing about my grandmother is she is a farmer's daughter, and she loved classical music. And so when she kept me, we listened to classical music all day. And one day I just started singing, and she was like, well, Bree, she was like, you have a really great voice. She was like, I think you should start voice lessons. So around 7, 8, I started voice lessons and immediately fell in love. Some people are listening to Taylor Swift or I don't even know, Maroon 5, I feel so old. I'm listening to Bach and Puccini in my car. And so a lot of my friends pick on me. They're like, you're so weird. Like, why do you listen to that stuff? And it's because that's my passion. That's what I have a vision for. And even at the age of 7 and 8, I knew that was my passion. But I always had very low self-esteem, and I always felt that I wasn't good enough. And my parents decided to put me into community theater, and it was a youth program. And I got very involved in that, and I fell in love, like head over heels in love. And I was like, this is what I want to do. This is my calling. I love theater. And so I started to see that through the arts, I could really become somebody different. When I got on stage, I wasn't Bree, who was insecure. I was somebody different. I was acting. My parents pushed me, and they inspired me, is what I'm trying to tell you. You need to be an inspiration to somebody, because my parents were that inspiration to me. They inspired me to be better. They didn't know exactly how to make that happen, but they were there, and they were encouraging, and they always wanted me to pursue my dreams. So through their inspiration, I decided that at the age of 17, I was going to lose weight. And I was going to become the person that I always wanted to be. So through 3 years of hard work, I lost 114 pounds. I went from being an insecure teen to a beauty queen. I think that was a headline one time. But here I am. I'm with Robin Robbins here on Good Morning America. And then I was going to show this picture. So through the arts, I would have never got involved with pageantry. I've always thought toddlers in tears when it came to that. So when I got involved, somebody came up to me and they said, Bree, you should really get involved with the Miss America organization. And I just kind of laughed at them. I said, I've not even been in a bikini in front of my family. How am I going to get on stage in front of hundreds and thousands of people and do that? And they were like, well, here's the core values of it. There's 4 points to the crown: scholarship, style, success, and, oh my gosh, I'm totally missing the next. Style, scholarship, success, and service. Sorry. Mm-hmm. And, that kind of resembles ODK's mission, is to lead and have scholarship and be successful. And so I started reading up about Miss America organization, and I realized that I needed the scholarship. And I think we all know that. We all need the scholarship as much as we can get. I needed the scholarship, and I wanted to perform my talent on a national stage, on national television. So I competed in a local preliminary competition of my hometown and didn't think I was going to win. It was my first pageant. And they were like, and the winner is Bree Boyce. And I was like, oh, it's me. Then I immediately knew that I was going to be competing at Miss South Carolina. And so I did in 2010, and I didn't win. I didn't win my first year. But it was a great learning experience because it really made me realize that this was something that I wanted to do. It was my passion because I was able to go into school systems and to different organizations and speak about my platform and get the message out that, you know, the arts are important, your health is important, success is important. And so I really wanted to hone in on that. And I told my mom, I said, you know, next year I'm going to go back and I'm going to win Miss South Carolina. And she was like, okay, well, if that's what you think you're going to do, then great. So I did. I went back the next year and I won Miss South Carolina. And I went on to compete at Miss America, which is something I never thought that I would ever do because, like I said, you have to walk in a swimsuit in front of millions of viewers on ABC. And I was just like, I don't know about all this. But I did it, and my favorite part of the competition was my talent competition because I got to perform a piece from Madame Butterfly, and it's one of my favorite operas from Puccini. And just to clarify a couple of these pictures here, these are from my theater makeup classes. From the bottom, I'm an old lady, and I kind of look a little scary. The top, I'm supposed to be a man, but some people said I looked a little bit like Jesus, so I'm not sure how to take that. And this right here is me and my dad in front of Kenny Rogers' bus. We actually got the opportunity to sing backup for one of Kenny Rogers' Christmas concerts last year, which was a really good father-daughter bonding. Beside that is me and Prince Edward, he's such a nice, down-to-earth person. And, you know, Scotland Yard is all around him, and they're like, you can't ask him questions, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I walked up to him and I was like, so, how's it going? And he's like, thank goodness somebody asked me a normal question. But he was such a nice person. It was a privilege to perform for him and his family. And I've gotten to do incredible things. And, you know, I couldn't have done any of those incredible things if I didn't have a vision, if I didn't have somebody to inspire me. And now I'm a teacher, and I get to be that person that inspires and sets a fire in young people to show that they can have a vision too. It doesn't matter where you start from, it only matters where you end up at. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that the most important thing that you can do in life is, if you want to get involved with the arts, I support that 100%. If that's not your vision, then find what your vision is. But always be an inspiration to someone. Always be there. Always be pushing someone to find the vision within themselves. Push them to be better than they were yesterday. I didn't start out, you know, thinking that I would be where I am today, but I had my parents there to inspire me and to push me and to show me that I did have a vision. And so I want you to take away today is that you can inspire someone to have a vision, that one day they may be great, and that you can say, that person, I inspired them. I was a part of their vision. Or today you can walk away inspired yourself, and you can become a visionary, and you can be the next creator of an Apple or Android company, or you can be the next pop star, or you can be the next president of a university. You can do anything you set your mind to, even if that means being president of the United States. But yes, I want to inspire you all to be an inspiration to others, yourself, and to be a visionary always. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.